Hello, 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 hello. Just making sure everything's sounding okay. Hold on, let me just close some things here. I don't need these tabs open for tonight. How you guys all doing, folks? My name is Kiji Prestige, and welcome once again back to another exciting session at the PokePod World Podcast, where me and my buddy Alpha Eve are gonna get together to go and talk about some anime for the year, at least for this season anyway, because we got to talk about. Obviously, we're going to be reacting to Snafu, the Sim Show. We're also going to actually fit in Misfit as well in all of this. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like there was another show we probably are going to talk about as well that might have flown over my head, but Evie will probably help me figure out what that show is in just a bit. For now, folks, I'm going to go and hop into the call with my buddy Evie, and then we're going to go and work things from there. I hope you guys have, a fun day or had a fun day. It's been a very interesting week to say the least. Honestly, this week flew by without much happening, in my humble opinion. But whatever, we'll see what happens. Let me hop into the call with my boy Evie real quick. Hold on, Evie, does thou hear me?
Hello, yes, I do hear you.
Nice. All right, let me put the volume up here for me real quick. Uzaki-chan. Yeah, we got to talk about Uzaki-chan as well. You're right. That might have been the other show I was kind of neglecting. Yeah, because I was like thinking,
Yeah,
I know
there's a.
we're gonna talk about the Sim Show. We're gonna talk about Snafu, obviously,
Mhm.
Misfit. Thank you guys so much for the happy 5 year celebration. I think the official
All
one, honestly, is
right.
probably gonna be on Monday when everyone is actually around. So think of this as like the pre-birthday celebration for the pod with me and Evie here. But sincerely though, thank you guys so much for all your love and support. It's been an
Oh,
honor to
definitely.
be voicing these things for almost 5 years now, and I'm just amazed that people still continue to love and support our shows in any shape or format that we do. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy our sessions throughout the many more years that are going to be coming in the not so distant future. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
yeah. So originally, my plan for tonight, because
Hmm.
this came at a surprise to me, Evie, because I didn't know what you were planning to do for the day, and I thought we were going to be having our session for tomorrow. Thankfully, we're doing it today because that means it's one day sooner for us to watch Snafu. Honestly, so I will obviously want to react to Snafu as soon as possible, especially after the events that happened last week. But initially, I had intended to stream a video game tonight of Fall Guys, the very popular game that's kind of going nuts on social media lately. If you've heard of
Hmm.
it,
I
Fall.
have.
Okay, so I actually got the game. I already have it set to go for whatever I want to do. There is just one itty bitty issue with Fall Guys, though, that I've noticed that it's probably going to make things difficult for streaming.
Hmm.
The servers are horrendous.
I noticed
Oh
that on the
Lord,
tweets.
the servers are horrible. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. It took me 1 hour to get to play one match.
Jesus Christ.
That's how bad the servers were for me earlier today. I was like, let me
Oh,
do a little testing right here. Now it took me 1 hour just to get one match in. I wasted a full hour I could have done with something else. Now I decided to look at the screen and load for like a full hour before I got into a match.
like, all right, well, that's going to be our match. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And see you all on whatever video we make. Take care, everyone, and have an awesome day.
You
No,
know
but.
that stupid challenge that everybody's doing right now is like the video will end once you finally, that kind of thing. I was gonna make like a stream like this stream will finally end whenever I actually get into a goddamn room in Fall Guys. But
Uh,
seriously though, the match I did play, it genuinely is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing more of it whenever the servers decide to be better.
yeah.
Um, Hopefully
I've
by
heard it's
tomorrow.
I've heard it's because of the overflowing amount of new players that are joining in this game that is causing these servers to really not handle itself in the capacity that these players are wanting to look for a game.
Yeah,
So
they
just an
didn't
absolute shit
expect this
fest.
game to blow up like it is right now, honestly. They just thought it
Hmm.
was going to be a game that would release, some people would find it niche and play it, and then that's it. The thing is, they got to realize we're in a pandemic right now. So people are obviously going to be
That's right.
jumping into this sort of kind of style of gameplay, similar to like Animal Crossing, which, by the way, If you've been following any news regarding Nintendo lately, they had their press briefing talking about some of the games that they've highlighted that were on sale earlier this year, like Animal Crossing New Horizons, which, by the way, just to remind everybody, that game came out just a couple of months ago, already surpassed 22 million units sold. In just a couple of months, it has managed to exceed anybody's expectations for a game like that. And for Pokemon, for example, as Evie's mentioning, Sword and Shield have become such heavy hitters that they actually ranked the third best Pokemon game of all time, only being beaten by Red and Blue and Yellow, as well as Gold and Silver. So basically,
Progress, maybe.
Generation 1 and Generation 2.
Yeah,
That.
that's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is bonkers. Like, obviously, we're going to highlight more of it on Monday's session, but for the Pokemon series, with all the controversy and everything surrounding it, it's like, yeah, you guys, I think everybody just wasted their time
Yeah,
with the controversy. You should have looked at the fun side instead. I understand the criticism, but there's a
yeah.
fine line between critiquing something and straight up harassing, you know?
That's
And
right. And it's not going to stop Pokemon, at least the franchise itself, anytime soon. Because from what we're getting heading forward, in regards to the video games and the anime, we are still on a full train ride with this. Because we still had the what do you call it? Uh, the second DLC for Sword and Shield coming up.
the
We also
expansion.
the expansion, yeah. And as we just got earlier this week, we
Mm-hmm.
also did get a new trailer for Pokemon Coco, and of course some of the new serial codes that are going to be releasing from Japan, which you can actually buy, but you do have but at a cost of that international shipping.
Dude, it costs the same
So there's
pricing
still.
as the ticket itself. $20. Do I
Damn.
really want to do that? Is the real question.
Hmm. Yeah, I
No.
think you should do it. I think no.
No, okay,
um.
I can't say anything because I spent $60 for
Mhm.
the Pokeball Plus. So,
Oh.
I already spent $60 to get Mew at this point. I mean, what's a
Oh, damn.
$40 gonna hurt me to get a Zarude, right? Or a Celebi?
Right, right.
But that's coming out of my wallet, though,
Uh,
unfortunately.
yeah, that's right.
Well, you know
But
how it is, man. I wish I could buy like multiple tickets. Like I'm gonna buy like 10 tickets. Be like I'm just gonna keep them here and just give out the codes like that because apparently, as you stated before, the codes they're region locked. They're not region locked. I'm sorry. They are accessible for anybody. If you have a U.S. Pokemon Sword or Shield, you can use the code and it'll work just for you. So
hmm
it's kind of crazy with that sort of thing. But yeah, maybe I'll try to purchase my own ticket, see what I can get out of it, and hopefully I'll be able to. Maybe get my own Zarude. Personally, though, all humble opinion, I'm only trying to buy it for Ash's hat. That's really it.
Oh, you mean as the accessory for your
Yeah,
trainer?
for your character, Ash's hat. I'll be like, yes, bro, I love that kind of hat.
We're talking about the movie one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Movie for
okay.
Coco. That's what they're using for that. For the merch in the Pokemon Sword and Shield game.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, definitely. Like, for a game that's literally all about a Pokemon, all we care about is a hat.
Exactly. I don't care
That-
about the
that- that-
Pokemon. The accessories where it's at, boy.
like, this is where my $60 is at, good sir.
Yeah. What'd you spend $60 for? A virtual hat. Excuse me, what? You heard
So what if
me.
you got me? I got my hat. I got.
Oh man, but Evie, you know what time it
Oh,
is, obviously. It's that time of the week. We've been anticipating this for a while now. You and I,
oh
we've been
yeah.
waiting for the newest episode of Snafu to begin, of the joys and potentially sadness that's going down with the recent events. I guess it's important for us to sort of recap the things that happened in last week's episode of Snafu. So if you want to do that,
Sure.
Evie, while I set things up, that would be very great.
Okay. So no problem at all.
Thank you, by
So
the way, everybody, once again for the 5th year anniversary shout outs. Really do appreciate it. But go right ahead, buddy.
yeah. So just to give you guys a little bit of review in regards to what happened on last week's episode. So it took place following the events of that promotional prom video that that Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting some of these names already. Something's not right with me. Hold up.
Iroha?
Iroha. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't worry, don't
So
worry.
Iroha wanted to plan out this promotional videos so these students can enjoy, as a little graduation event. Um, so so once that once that's set aside, there's this huge problem that came about eventually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Evie. Uh-oh, hold on, let me close. Okay, there we go. I wonder if you
About
also
that,
got hit by that too, Evie.
I got hit by that too.
Okay, yeah. So just to clarify, a phone call just happened in the middle of the conversation, which hit Evie there.
Yeah, so I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen.
But
No,
continue
but
on, buddy.
yeah. So again, halfway into the episode, Yukinon's mom intervenes with this prom plan, thinking that it doesn't really set a good example for, for really like their family, the community. She's opposed to this idea of having a prom, and there's this little dispute going on between the students and the organization, or the
Oh,
organization
thanks,
that
Richie.
Yukino Moms was part of. So they didn't want this prom idea to go down. So Yukino decided to take matters into her own hands and tries to resolve this issue by herself without needing the help of her reliable friends, being of Yui and Hachiman. Um, but of course, Yui and Hachiman didn't want that because they felt like there's nothing wrong with asking for help. But um, Yukino's sister does bring up a good point where if Yukino's mom really wants to see her own daughter change and mature, she's gonna have to solve her own problems by herself. So it's you know both sides aren't wrong in this matter. So by the end of the episode, uh, Yui received a text from, I believe it was she received a text basically likely leading that the prom is going to end up being canceled.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
I think he decided to choose one of the two girls in that route.
yeah. So
So for
he
Yui fans, man, that shit hurt.
yeah, because Hachiman is the wonky definition of, as we saw from the episode, the term is codependency, excuse me.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah,
such a
so
core element of that episode too, which was I do wonder if that's going to be something that they will be addressing as the show continues as well.
I think it will, because honestly, if you look at Hachiman's character, that's really who he is as a character. So I think they will bring up this concept of codependency every once in a while.
Yeah, it's just a matter of
Um,
like what are they planning to use it for though. That's going to be the main thing everybody's going to be wondering about.
right. So that's pretty much how the episode ended. For now, we're just looking forward. We're just looking to see how they're going to resolve or prevent the cancellation of prom,
Yeah. All
and
right.
see how Hachiman's going to help out.
Yeah. So, all right, there we go. Now I got the camera working on me. Thankfully. Thank you, Evie, for the recap as well. Needed that refreshment too, because last week's
All right.
episode was a doozy, man. For
I
real.
know, man. I know it hurt a lot of us,
It hurt
but
everybody who was in the Yui ship anyway. If you were in the Yukino ship, you were probably celebrating somewhere behind the scenes for all we know. But for
but
Yui fans, though, that shit hurt hard.
I know. I will say this though, even for all of Yukino fans out there, um, knowing Yui and for who she is to Yukino, you can't tell but be sad for her too.
Yeah.
So we're all taking L's in some way.
Yeah, we're all taking L's because everybody's sad. That's the whole point about this goddamn show. Everyone is a sad boy in this show.
hmm
But now
But
here we are, though. On
yeah,
to the newest
episode 5.
episode. What do you say?
Let's get started, man.
Alrighty then. So, as you guys already know, probably know if you've seen our past reactions to Snafu, the way we're going to be handling it is we're going to obviously be doing the regular countdown from 3, 2, and 1. and then from there, the episode will begin. So we want to give you guys a bit of a heads up. Make sure to have your episodes with you, set all good to go, etc. And yeah, we will then begin from there. So I have with me the episode here set to go. Evie, I still am not emotionally prepared for what we could be expecting from this episode. Um, I don't know. Fans, once again, please in the chat, do not spoil it for us if there is anything major. The only thing I was told is that we have to watch the episode all the way past the credits. That's the only thing I was told so far.
Okay, that's
Which
pretty interesting.
that's the
That's a
best thing to
first.
be told so far because that doesn't spoil anything. It's just saying that there might be some end credits happening, after the ending plays or something, So for now, we'll see what happens. But let's get right
Uh,
into it. What do you say?
yeah, we get past the credits, and then you see a text that says Hachima will return with the Avengers.
In Endgame. Oh, good lord. But all
Yeah,
right, then.
but
I'm
I'm
good to
ready.
go.
I'm ready to go too.
Everybody in the chat ready? Once again, we're obviously not going to have footage or anything of that sort play here because copyright
Of
is
course.
bullshit.
Hmm.
So, as always, we're going to do the traditional countdown. It's going to start with that weird TBS, very funny logo. You know, the one at the very beginning. So that's the format of how we're going to handle it. So, Evie, let's get to it. Counting down from 3, 2, 1, go.
All right,
All right, it
let's
is
go.
TBS logo. Okay. As long as no
TBS logo.
spoilers, emotions only, KG. KG, good luck on your ash hat. I'll do my best to get that goddamn ash hat. All
All
right,
right,
but let's
and
get
we
to
gotta
it.
start it. Yeah, and of course we gotta start things off with this moment.
God damn it. We just did the recap. We don't need to see this again because we just recapped the events that happened in the episode. And it's like, nah, we're just going to repeat that again. Just to remind everybody the pain that we just had to go through just a couple of days ago. All right, so okay, we're just jumping straight to it. Let's get to it then. Wow, he really has grown. He doesn't want that. He wants the coffee.
He's a grown man now.
He
He's gonna have
is.
his coffee.
He's called Hachiman for a reason. Oh, they're considering to cancel it. They haven't fully canceled it just yet.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing though. But like,
Yeah.
why are they so like in pushing for the
Like,
fact that it's going to cancel and shit?
like they're really too worked up about this cancellation process. Like it didn't need to sound too serious, and it should be, from what it looks like.
Hmm. Man. We'll find out, I guess, in just a bit, Evie.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized it. We finally get to see more of Sensei too.
I know. I like that, and it's a good thing too because she is the one that they introduced Hachiman to this club. So I think
Yeah.
she really does play a big of a role.
Oh, what the hell? Yeah, the moment this kind of thing spreads out, it's going to cause problems, man.
Yeah, you might want to watch out for that white clothing you got there, bud.
Opening time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so for now, it doesn't look like, the cancellation of prom is 100% confirmed, It's just in a plan. So they could still have time to figure things out.
Yeah, they have something, I guess, but like, what can one man do? This is Hachiman. What is he capable of doing that can help prevent a cancellation for the entirety of the
And
school? You know what I mean?
yeah, and in a way where she doesn't really quite intervene with Yukino.
Mm-hmm.
Because knowing that she wants to handle this all by herself.
I'm starting to grow on this opening. I just want to say that right now.
All right, well, see, there you go.
Yeah, it
So,
started. It
I
started to get to me. Not fully yet, but it's getting there.
I was hoping this opening would top your list.
Oh no no no! You can't tell me that this is going to beat opening two, man. Opening two is on a league of its own, in my opinion. I still think opening three is great. I just think opening two just exceeds my expectations, man.
All right, well, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those
Opening wise,
songs that's like it grows over time. Also, we got to remember that this is going to be the last opening too for Snafu.
yeah, so it's gonna have its own meaning to it. All
Yeah,
right, so what do we have
exactly.
here?
If they play this as an insert song for a very emotional scene, then maybe that'll be the scene when it'll be like, okay, it is now my absolute favorite opening of all time, but it hasn't come
Yeah,
just yet.
yeah. So as the same said there, she doesn't want he doesn't want Yukino to he doesn't want him to intervene with Yukino.
Damn, Hachiman.
Oh, sorry about that.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Oop. See, oh, they are bringing about the whole dependency situation again. So it is significant.
Yes, for her growth.
Mm-hmm. Let me just put this back here. Damn.
Yes. It's kind of nice seeing those two finally, have a conversation with each other.
Yeah. Because they're not like speaking as sensei and student here. It's more like, I guess, in a way, friends here.
Yeah,
Which is an interesting kind of chemistry because it is, a student and a sensei here.
yeah, but it's at the same time it's kind of more than that, you know.
Oh no, it's gonna be like one of those Telltale games. Yukino will remember this. Finally! Yeah, now you got my attention. Oh, we're gonna see Yukino versus Hachiman in a fight. Okay. So that's what's happening. But man, this is unfortunate.
I'm just saying she's the best sensei.
Oh hell yeah! Like no other sensei is able to top her story wise in the slice of life category, man.
Definitely, man.
I mean, maybe the closest one who could probably get there is maybe the succubus one from the what was it the
Interviews with Monster Girls.
yeah the interviews of Monster Girl. She's close there. She's my personal fave as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh god, those eyes. I mean, like she's
oh my god!
cute. She's cute in her own manner. I'll give her that.
How is she not with somebody yet? That's what confuses me. Look at her.
Kakui. Man, someone wife her up already.
Seriously, how is she not wifed up yet? How is she not somebody's wife? I mean, look at her.
I know Ichinose, right? No.
No. Oh, she's really taking it.
I know I fucked up that name, by the way.
there
So many eyes in this season.
are way
You
too
guys know
many,
what I mean.
man.
Yep.
We're gonna eventually mix them up. What's happening here? No, we can't be
What?
halfway into the episode already.
Did it say you guys? This is the end game? No.
That
All
was
right. So
too
what's
quick,
what?
man. Goddamn.
All right. But what's really happening here?
This girl, I swear
Jesus
to
Christ, this
God.
girl. Yeah.
I will say, as much as I hate her, I do genuinely believe she makes a perfect talking buddy for Hachiman.
She does. She's one of those people you least suspect where if you need to talk to someone, that person's there for you, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Except at the same time, she'll always make sure to call you out on your bull as well. What's with
Jesus.
that animation? She's like doing all this shit and whatnot.
Like this,
Like,
all the hand motions, yeah.
I know, right? You'd be surprised, Moreno, for in regards to that. There are some friends I know who are like this, but I mean, it's rare to see that be done for shows like Snafu.
Yeah.
Oh, see, what
Oh.
kind of girl would do that though? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, might as well tell her. Come on, Hachiman.
Oh, what? That's not what I thought he'd say.
Well then.
Yeah, what was like? What did you expect him to say? Probably not. And then she goes into the dark side, never to be seen again.
Jesus.
Like literally, she just walked into the dark, and then the scene just transitions to Hachiman, and it's like, I guess she went to the dark side.
Oh, and there she is again.
Ah, god damn
My
it!
boy, my boy Hachiman has stepped to the dark side.
Oh Lord, Hachiman.
Oh, hey there.
What? Oh my God, she's really been like, and you know that stupid meme where there's like a lot of arrows pointing everywhere with images slapped on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
what
know what
she has
you're
right
talking
there.
about. All right, so what's happening here? How are you gonna approach this, Hachiman?
Yeah. Uh, I just love that. Just look at that stare, though, for real. I think that's the thing
Yeah.
that's killing it for me. Is just the stare. Damn, look at all the ideas that they tried.
Yeah, they really want this to come into fruition.
Ah, okay, so they both given ideas, and ultimately the other person has sadly neglected it. Keep it classy, dress code, no uploading photos. What the hell? How are none of these work? Damn. They just want to find even one fault just to cancel the prom.
Yeah.
Oh, direct, I see.
And it's being really direct with his own thoughts.
Huh. Damn, Hachiman found a little loophole to work around with this, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Hachiman is always like that character that doesn't look smart, but when he thinks about it, like, he can really come up with some clever ways of working around the system.
Yeah, that's true. And we've seen that multiple times.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still, I guess
Oh,
shocking with Hachiman's character, because he doesn't look like the part.
yeah.
But that's what I like about him, is the unexpected surprises that come out of him.
There it is.
What?
Come on. How can you say no to that?
Oh, Yukino, come on! What? Oh my god!
Oh, I see.
From the very first season?
It all comes back together. Okay, I'm liking where this is going.
Holy shit. What a way to bring up a topic that was never used in like any of the other stories that we've seen so far in Snafu.
I know, like you take these kinds of things, are very minor things. You thought it was just a one and done thing. It's something that's never gonna get referenced again. But it's shit like that, man. That makes me love the series even more, man.
And looks like they agreed on it, didn't they? Yeah, there we go. So we legitimately are getting a Yukino versus Hachiman kind of thing. God, come on, even when Hachiman's trying to win, he still loses, right? Poor lad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can put it that way.
Yes! I felt like an idiot. Oh my god. Thank you. You understand that you're irrelevant, you piece of shit.
All right, KG. You need to simmer down there. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, but seriously, no, I just didn't like what she did in season 2, man.
But how's she taking it though?
She took it hard. So, did the two ships already sail, I guess, at this point?
Damn, I see
Oh,
that.
Lord. What the hell?
Man, okay,
Oh, shit.
so it looks to me like just like last week's episode with Yui. I think Iroha is finally understanding what seems to be going on.
In other words, everyone is a pain. Not just simply,
Another trap? No, no,
uh, dude,
no. But no, but okay. But look, setting that Iroha aside, this was a really good episode overall because I just like how to me what made this up was that little flashback back in the first season when they
I
decided to have
thought
this
that
level
moment was
competition.
irrelevant, honestly.
I thought so too, but the moment they brought it back to see that particular scene contribute to the current events, man, do I love that. I think that made this episode up.
Yeah. Like there are like I think my favorite thing about this episode, just like with all the prior ones, is that it's the lines, it's what they're saying that is so important and significant to everything that's happening right now, and especially going into this prom here. Now we're actually seeing a full on fight between Yukino and Hachiman in terms of ideals, clashing against one another. And I'm curious to see how that's actually gonna turn out. Oh, by the way, look at this.
Yeah, don't forget we gotta have the credit scene.
I wonder what it is though. Oh wow, she already won.
Mm.
Damn. I already know how Yukino's probably going to take care of things.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? This will be the last one? What does that mean? Oh, I guess it's because she's supposed to. She's leaving after this, isn't she?
Oh,
Excuse me, what? What was with the cans of coffee?
hey, there
Hey!
he is.
Oh, look at that! Oh my god, everyone's just coming in! What the hell? What's happening here?
Everyone is here.
Once again, Hachiman. Oh my God! No. No, what's happening? You can't just tell me and just show me that and just say, we're done for the day. No, hold on a second.
Yeah, hold on. I need to go back to that scene again because I honestly didn't read the dialogue too carefully.
Yeah, there was
Let's
so
see.
much happening on scene. You were just like looking at the visuals. You couldn't even see like a lot of the text that was happening there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking over that after credits scene right now. Yeah, so she should have it all from them by tomorrow,
Oh
and she's
my.
pretty confident that the prom is gonna happen.
Yeah, seriously, this episode felt like it was 5 minutes, but it was in reality 20 minutes, man. I hate this
And
so much. God damn it.
sorry if I'm being a little quiet. I'm just looking over that last thing. This will be the next one. I can truly end things with this. So it does look to me that Yukino already has a plan in place, but from from the impression that I'm getting, it looks like she's going to have to sacrifice some things in exchange. I don't know what exactly, but I think that's the route it's going to be taking.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. I'm still like we're almost halfway into this show, and I still have
Are
like
we?
no idea the direction that they're trying to go with the final season, man.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be crazy. Episode 5, we're about 7 episodes left.
Yeah. Although
So,
I do want to take a second to talk about one scene that I really liked, though. At the very end of the episode, I feel like it was something because I'm trying to go back to watch the preview again. But I double checked here. There is a moment when Yukino's trying to grab the glasses. Did anybody notice that? And how she
oh,
refused to get the glasses?
yeah, yeah.
I think that was Hachiman's gift, wasn't it? Like the
Yeah.
glasses.
Shit, I don't remember if it was Hachiman's or Hachiman's and Yui's gift, but the case being like their friends had to do with
Yeah,
glasses.
they gave her those glasses as a gift. But I think
Hmm.
Hachiman did. And I feel like what's happening is that she didn't want to grab the glasses because she didn't want to get help from Hachiman.
Yeah, there's that little symbolism
Yeah, it's
with
so
that.
small. I just like noticed it. I'm like, bro, how did I not see this the first time? I think I was just reading the text and I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, and I thought it was a little bit weird how she was using eye drops. Like I know it's a small detail, but when you think about it carefully, you've never really seen her use eye drops, and I think she only uses eye drops if she isn't using like reading glasses or like glasses to help with like dealing with electronics, right? So the fact
Yeah.
that she's using eye drops from not having to wear those glasses just pretty much shows her it symbolizes her independency on this current situation she's in.
Also, no Yui in this episode either. Was there? She was irrelevant in this episode after the events of last week. And she's
Yeah,
just
well,
jumping back into the story in next week's episode, though.
yeah. Which I'm kind of curious to see how her character, how the writers are going to handle her character given the events that happened to her last week. So, is she actually going to take part in this plan to restore the prom idea, or is she going to be too worried about her friends? We'll see what
Yeah,
happens,
that's
man.
the thing. I legitimately do not know what direction they're trying to take with this story, but I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think there's a lot of potential for what we could be seeing from the next episode and the conflict that Hachiman and Yukino are gonna go against each other. I wonder. I think the whole Hachiman giving a speech has something to do with the fact that he needs to recruit his own members to work on the idea that he has in mind, because I know for a fact Hachiman will not be able to do it alone. So he might need to rely on others to help him out. in regards to getting this whole prom thing set up in his terms, which is why you saw
Right.
everybody there in the preview. I think that's what's happening. I think he's going to probably request the help from Yui, maybe somehow Iroha as well, and the other members of his friends. You know, you saw there our favorite Trap as well. I mean, he's going to do wonders for sure.
Yeah. And of course, that other girl that we met on the first episode of this season.
Oh yes,
And
best girl, of course. We
yeah.
can't forget her.
And a character that's finally making his debut in season 3. I completely forgot his name, but hey man, I really liked the dude.
Oh,
So
dude,
it's great to
yes,
finally see him
everybody.
back.
But man, I don't know what to say. Like, wow, what an
Yeah.
episode.
It was, man. Like the story just keeps getting a lot more interesting, so much more interesting. As at least in this case, with this week's episode, how this competition is going to unfold. Like they both agree that this prom idea should turn into reality, but they have different opinions as to how they're going to handle it. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, I am too. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to
So
this upcoming episode when it drops. But I guess the most significant part about this episode that everybody needs to talk about. I'm kind of bummed out we never got to see the sensei route.
oh yeah,
You
that
can't
that is
tell me
another
that
thing
that
too.
wasn't so cute, man. Like that shit was adorable as hell.
That was, man. And then, like I said, someone needs to wife her up because other than the good looks, I think just her maturity and the way she take and her passion for the job, the way she takes her the way she helps out Hachiman and any and the main students
Yeah,
in any way she can. To me, she's one of the MVPs of this episode.
for
That
sure, for sure.
that and a little honorable mention, I would have to give that to Iroha because I know you don't really like her as a character too much, KG, but you gotta
No,
admit that
mm,
you
admit what?
gotta.
Admit what?
Iroha also did some good in this episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. Listen. I hate Iroha not because of like her being a bad character or anything. I just don't like how she's kind of the third girl when she never needed. When the show never needed a third girl, she could have been like all the other ones where she's just sort of there to kind of help progress the plot, but not be like a third love interest or something because it doesn't need to exist. It's always been about the two girls who've had the story for like 2 seasons now, you know, and she just sort of hopped in into the middle one and almost caused a big ass mess. In fact, I think my favorite moment about this episode was when she decided to call herself out in some of the bullshit that she committed, you know. So that made
Right,
me very
right.
happy. But overall, like as long as Iroha can be viewed as more of a friend rather than a love interest, I will be happy with. The moment they decide to try to slap in love interest with her and Hachiman, I just don't feel like it worked in my opinion. But that's just me, of course. That's at the end of the day, that's just my take on it. To all the
Yeah.
Iroha fans though out there who enjoy Iroha, I feel bummed out for them though because this episode just straight up sunk that ship as well. Now there's really only one ship that stays afloat for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
But man,
And
two ships got destroyed in this episode too, man.
yeah, goddamn. So for those of you Yukino fans, you guys do have a chance. It's just it's just a matter of how this season is going to wrap up, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I have anything more to add in regards to this episode. So it was just another great episode. Again, a favorite moment has to be the competition that Hachiman and Yukino set up with each other in terms of how they're going to handle the prom. Um, and of course, Sensei is the MVP. So I'm just looking forward to see how this is going to play out. So anything else you want to add, KG?
I'm curious, man. I'm curious what the upcoming episodes are. I did see that episode titles did get leaked for Snafu season 3. And the episode titles are very significant because they actually highlight what volumes of the books or the light novels that they're going to be taking from for each volume? Because I think right now, after this, with this episode, I think we are in volume 13 of the light novel, meaning
Mhm.
that we only have one volume left after this one, volume 14, which I believe is the last volume of Snafu as a whole.
Man,
So we have two volumes of light novel content to go through left in like 12 episodes.
man, we're coming up quick on this.
Yeah, man. I hope they handle everything right. I really do. So let's hope. Let's hope for the best possible outcome. So far, I've been loving the story I've seen so far. I'm curious to see where we are gonna go next for this, though.
Definitely,
All right, so
absolutely.
that's probably our take for the Snapper review. In overall good episode as always. It's just more so, god damn it, I hate that I have to wait every week just to see whatever new episodes come in aboard, man. It
I
sucks.
know, man. I know,
Like,
but we need this pacing sometimes.
oh yeah, otherwise it would be very boring without if we got all 13 episodes in one shot. The sense of drama wouldn't be there because we'll just be able to binge it all in one day. So having us make us painfully wait every
Painfully.
week, it's that feeling, man. It's that feeling of excitement
Yeah,
and pain.
yeah, I know how it is. But for now, let's just wrap up episode 5
All right.
and
Well, I think we did
report
a
next
pretty
week.
solid job with that review overall, and yeah, let's see what other shenanigans they might play at us sometime in the future. But until
Right.
then, though, I think it's time for us to go and talk about other anime. What do you say, Evie?
Yeah. So, any one particular anime that you want to go over?
Well, I
One
mean,
that you really want to talk about?
we got a lot. I mean, we got the Sim Show, which, by the way, I don't.
Okay.
Let's start with the
Let's
Sim Show, actually.
let's talk about the Sim Show.
Okay.
The Sim
The
Show.
yeah. Okay. Let's take one thing out of this show because I don't want to talk about this more than 5 seconds, and I think you might be
Oh.
knowing which particular moment I'm talking about.
um.
Yeah, that scene, man.
Need a moment.
The tissue scene was the most
uh.
uncomfortable experience I've seen with anime, man. I'm sorry, that
I
shit was so uncomfortable to watch.
I honestly didn't think we would actually get that.
I don't even
Like,
know why we're in that moment. Why did we need to see that? That had
like,
no reason to be there.
my dude, you just came back from a vacation. You just came back from a near-death experience. Get some time to relax.
Nah, we go and then like he talks to his friend down there and he's like, "Wow, you've been really wanting to go out for 2 days. Let's get at it!" And grabs some tissues and starts doing the work. And I'm like, why am I
And
watching this show again?
and what do we get? Well, like 5 minutes out of this?
I don't
5 minutes
know.
out of
I
this
don't even
particular
want to
session?
count it, but that went on longer than it had any right to be, man.
I know, dude. Like, okay, first of all, this dude was fantasizing about mommy. Okay, but then he realizes that after he was saved from Chisiru, after performing CPR, he realizes that while he was fantasizing about mommy, Chisiru came into his mind. So now this dude is actually debating as to whether or not he's actually developing some feels for Chisiru, you know?
Yeah. And I did
So,
like that segment of the episode where he's just like in the stairs thinking about it and he just starts panicking because he doesn't really know what kind of emotions he's kind of going through. I mean, he kind of, because the thing that kind of annoys me about that whole scene is that he's been having this mindset that he views her as his legitimate girlfriend throughout the whole show. So you're telling
mhm.
me now he's getting feelings for her despite everything that's happened since the very beginning of the show?
Yeah,
I find that a little odd, but I don't know. It just threw me off for
it
that
is a
scene.
little
But then
odd.
again, they talked about this literally moments after the whole scene that he had there with his tissue box. So it's like maybe that was what made it so uncomfortable to even hear these kind of conversations because like this man just literally beat himself, and it's like, okay, now I'm starting to have feelings for her, and I'm like, you can't just speak about that so casually after what you just pulled a few seconds prior to this conversation, you know?
Yeah, and another thing too. I think that entire moment when Chizuru had to revive um oh my god, I'm forgetting the name.
Oh, hold on, let me get your info for you, buddy.
Kazuya.
Kazuya,
Kazuya.
yeah.
Yeah, so um had it not been for my boy Kibe, Chizuru would have probably hesitated a lot more to save this man's life,
Yeah.
And it's because of Kibe too that that's giving Kazuya some words to think about that if whether or not he's actually developing feelings, because he did say that why else would he go out of his way, risk his own life to jump off a ferry to actually save her, even though in in Kazuya's mind she's just a random girlfriend, but it's sometimes the action to speak for themselves, and it got himself thinking, like why would he really go out of his way to do that? So this is also something that he's been debating throughout the entire course of this episode, because originally, as you saw from the episode title, he went to a hot springs resort with his
Yeah.
grandma. Yeah, following her release from the hospital, and of course the coincidences just keep on coming one after another.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
another thing
that
too.
threw me off for
This
a loop.
see, you might call this a sim show, but this is also the coincidence. The show coincidence, the anime.
How does this
The
Chizuru's grandmother have this kind of shit under her belt is what I want to know.
See, and you want to talk about under quote unquote under your belt. Jesus Christ, those two grandmas.
Yeah, they're like a dynamic duo you're not supposed to reckon with. I'm like, bro, what? They're making sure that this whole plan goes into fruition and that these two actually remain a couple and get married. Hell, even at some point in the episode, they assumed that they already did things together, in the bed and
I
whatnot.
Yeah, like they thought that they thought that they actually quote crossed that line,
Yeah.
as they said, right? Um, but yeah, Kazuya's grandma was first of all trying to trick Kazuya into thinking that, oh, like we're gonna give you a spare room, so here's a key, take the elevator, and just go ahead and relax. And it turns out that room was already unlocked, only for him to realize that that room was also reserved for Chizuru. So it was a little plan that those two grandmas was trying to set up for those two to sleep together in the same room. And honestly, surprisingly, Chizuru just kind of played it off.
For
Just
real,
play
man. Yeah, like at the end of the episode, she's just like, okay, we're just gonna ignore everything, right? Yeah.
yeah. And it's for a good reason too, because those two grandmas don't have any idea that they're not really in a relationship. So for them to announce their the end of their relationship during the middle of the vacation would just kind of ruin the mood. So I can at least understand that aspect. And of course, given the shit that they've gone through at the beach, they kind of needed this, right? So they just want to relax. So she's just like, and you know what? Whatever. Like you can stay in my room. I just want to relax. And and there was another particular scene in this episode where Kazuya's grandmother was really falling up, filling up on Jisuru's body at that fucking bathhouse.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you know, uh, and I know Tasso was with us here last week, but he just wanted to give his thoughts on this episode, and he just pretty much said that this episode of Random Girlfriend so far has been it was the most lewdest shit he's ever seen. And just in general, just in general so far, with this with that little moment with Kazuya to that moment between Chizuru and Kazuya's grandmother,
Yeah.
I would pretty much say that this is probably the lewdest as far as as lewd as it could go with this series. Um, but other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say about Rent a Girlfriend for this episode.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if there's anything you want to add.
surprisingly, this episode was pretty tame. I know it had its very lewd moments for sure, like the moment when Chizuru came out of the bath, and then the camera had to make sure to highlight certain parts of her features, and everything.
Yeah,
Aside from stuff like that, but overall, I did like the dynamic that these characters have with one another. After the events that played out last week, you're like, how are things gonna play out this week? And then, um, you know, when Chizuru had the conversation with Kazuya's grandmother in the bath and all that, I thought that was genuinely a very heartwarming moment. I thought that
yeah,
was
it
legitimately
was.
a cool moment for the grandmother because she's like, she just wants to see what's best for everybody and whatnot. And like the whole conversation they had with each other before the whole eventual groping scene happened with her, where she just decided to
Yeah,
start feeling poor Chizuru in almost all spots available. Yeah. Um, but overall, like, it was a very tame episode. I think this one among the other ones, like, probably is like the weakest in terms of like the insanity, because like every week I'm always pissed off with the show and whatnot. This week it wasn't as much as like every other week.
right.
So that thankfully was not present. But aside from that though, good episode. I like that Mommy Chan was neglected again though.
Hey, yeah, there we go. I'm liking the direction that this series is going now. No, but next week's episode though, I'm actually looking forward to because there's this one particular girl that's finally making her debut. That
Yeah,
being
you're right.
of that being of Ruka Sarashina, which by the way, at least appearance wise, I really like her a lot. I might top her above Ichinose in terms of looks though, of course. But I still think Chizuru is still the best girl in this series so far. But
I wonder
I'm
how
actually
she's going to like be involved in the show.
uh, that's what I want to know too, man. Like, how is she going to you know, how is she going to handle herself with Kazuya, and how is she going to, how's her relationship going to be like with Chizuru and maybe some of the other characters in this series? So yeah, I'm generally interested to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah, because you don't know anything about this character so far aside from she exists.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah,
Um,
we'll probably learn more about her really soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
yeah. So so that's pretty much it for this episode of Rent a Girlfriend. Now, KJ, do you mind giving me about 5 to 10 minutes while you continue with this podcast? I just need to take care of something quick.
All right, don't worry about that, buddy. I'll do my best here.
Yeah, so go ahead and talk about one of the animes that you really want to talk about in the
Oh
meantime,
yeah,
and I'll
don't
just
worry. The ones I'm going to talk about is one that we have yet to actually, or I have not seen you watch yet. So don't worry about it. I'll probably talk about it right now.
okay. So just bear with me for a bit. So I'll be back.
All right then. So, as Evie's on his way back to continue on with the show, I do want to talk about a particular anime. I think I might have briefly tackled upon it last week, but not to a bigger extent. Like I'm probably going to talk about it now. That show in particular being of the Monster Musume no Oshai. I think that's how you say it. Oisha-san. I think that's how you pronounce it. Otherwise known as the Monster Girl Doctor. This show in particular, in case many weren't aware, I've really been enjoying it so far just because it's a show that I genuinely did not think it would be intriguing, similar to like Monster Musume. I mean, like if you've seen Monster Musume, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I think this show, the Monster Girl Doctor, I really liked a lot only because of the main characters that we've had in the show. For example, let's talk about the main male character, Glenn. Um, Glenn, he's a doctor. He's been working hard in studying in regards to medical stuff for monster girls. And throughout his career as a doctor, he is also joined in with a Lamia assistant known as Safi. First of all, that is a great name, Safi. I love that name. Um, but during all of this, as everything's happening, the show progresses on more and more, where you start to soon discover more of the monster girls that inhabit this particular land known as Linworm, where it's like a area where humans and monster girls, or just monsters in general, can coexist with each other. And so far, the premise I've liked, because one of the things that the show is not heavily pushing. I mean, it does have its lewd moments. I'm gonna say that right now, but it's not heavily pushing to like that extent of Monster Musume, the other one. Like this one, I think is legitimately trying to create a story with the world that they inhabit and the characters that do exist. They do have their lewd moments, but the story elements of the show really outshine everything that you could view as like a negative thing. Um, Now, one of the things is like, if there's a way I could describe the show, it's not a ripoff, but you could view it as like an alternate universe for Monster Musume, but with an actual legitimate storyline. Like it really is good. If you haven't had a chance to give the show a watch,
Okay,
I
I'm back.
genuinely believe you'll enjoy it. So yeah,
All
welcome
right,
back, by the
so
way.
yeah, so it didn't took. It wasn't as long as I thought it was. So, what were you talking about, by the way, so I could catch
Monster
up on what
Girl
you were
Doctor,
saying?
actually.
Oh, okay. So, do you mind reiterating what you were saying? Just like a quick summary, though.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about that, buddy. Monster Girl Doctor. It's basically about the fact that a doctor assistant who works there
Mm-hmm.
is working on finding medical cleanups for monster girls in general, or just monsters in general. And he, alongside his Lamy assistant Safi, are trying to create a clinic that can take care of these said creatures. One of my favorite things about the
Right.
show so far is that if you've seen the original Monster Musume, think of it like that, but without the lewdness, and they're actually trying to create a cohesive world and character-driven story. It's really been a lot
Ah,
of fun. Like I've loved the characters we've seen so far. Glenn is great. Safi, the Lamy, is great. Lulala is also great as well. Tisalia is another great character. Kunai as well. Like there are a lot. Like the theming of these monster girls that we've seen throughout the show, they're really fantastic to just watch and just kind of hear their stories unfold. Uh, Personally, my favorite has been so far Lulala. I really like Lulala's character. She is she's kind of like a mermaid, basically. Uh,
the mermaid. Okay.
yeah, so I've really liked her character a lot. I also like Tisalia because Tisalia has this like royalty essence to her, where she speaks like she is the knight or like the princess and whatnot, while also being a fighter too. So she I've also enjoyed as well. Kunai was one of the more recent characters that got introduced not too long ago, and she's also great. She's kind of like a zombie esque kind of creature, where she is a creature that pretty much takes body pieces from like everything that exists and just makes a human out of it. And I don't know how
Yeah.
they made her look great, but I guess the people who made her look great. So I'll just keep it at that. So yeah, so far I've been loving the characters, I've been loving the story, I've been loving the premise, and I can't wait to see what the next episode has in store for us. So yeah, it's something I'm not gonna say you guys should go and watch right away because it's like the greatest show of all time. But if you want something to just watch in the sidelines, I think you'll get a good kick out of it, in my opinion.
Okay.
So yeah, nothing really more to
All
say
right.
other than that, really.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to talk about some of these anime while I was away. So, let's go ahead and talk about. You know what? Let's dive into this anime a little more, since it's something that I personally got into recently. So, let's talk about Misfit of Demon Academy, shall we?
Yeah, because that's gonna be one of our other shows. We're gonna finally start talking on a weekly basis. Thank goodness, I love this show so much, man. You have no idea how much I've really enjoyed this show.
Dude, I'm think I'm loving it just as you are, dude. And once again, KG, I gotta thank you for recommending me this anime because, man, Honestly, I underestimated the potential this show was going to have coming into this summer. But man, I'm just happy I was proven wrong
Oh, it's
because man,
great.
this is deliver. It does deliver. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened in last week's episode,
So yeah, so
shall
the
we?
events that happened, because yeah, we do have to say last week because the episode aired after the Antipod
The
that we had.
prologue. Yeah.
Yeah, so the yeah, pretty much it was a prologue because it was like a setup for all the characters, was it not?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
And
so
just the way the episode ended last week as well.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know why. Like it kind of felt like the end of the series, but I would just take them more as a prologue. So
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like if you wanted to just get an idea of how far you should watch a show before you either decide to continue with it or just straight up cancel it, or like straight up stop watching it. One through episode four, I think, is a perfect starting point for the series, just to get an
Oh,
idea if you
definitely.
really are gonna like the show or not. So this week's episode of the Misfit anime decides to take a little bit of a different approach because they decide to reference a character from the past and bring him into the
Mm-hmm.
present timeline via the concept of reincarnation. And
Yep.
honestly, I love this. I
Me
think
too,
that to
man.
me is great because this episode was so good, man. Oh my god, I loved this episode.
For
Lord,
real,
it needed
dude.
to be great. They did
And
they did a lot in this episode though. We got to get that out of the way.
that's true, man. But just like to summarize how this episode played out, it's basically this meme of close your eyes, bro. Okay, bro. Like, what do you see? Nothing, bro. That's my life without you, bro.
Yeah,
Bro.
that was literally Ray and Anos with each other. I swear to God, those two are like the best of bros at this point. But the thing I want to know is, Ray being a reincarnation of who in particular?
Ray being, I know, right? Because if you look at it, I think it was the second or the third episode, you came across this hero who wanted to battle Anos before, 2,000 years ago, right? Right?
Yeah,
And Anos made this promise. Well, this is just a little light spoiler, but if you guys don't want to hear it, that's fine. Go ahead and just mute me for like 10 seconds. Anos wanted to promise the hero to become best friends once they become reincarnated. But then you come to this episode where there was this flashback 2,000 years ago where Anos and Shin were, they were pretty much taking on
this threat,
this
I
army or
guess.
this threat, yeah. And after taking out this threat, Anos and Shin had a little conversation that, well, Shin first of all, he's a true bro. Even 2,000 years ago, where he was pretty much like a servant, a swordsman servant to Anos, where he pretty much wanted nothing more than to be by his side after reincarnation.
And I thought that was
So
so cool, man. I love that. I was like, how cool is Anos that everybody wants to still be with him even after they've gone from this planet?
for real, man. Now here's the confusing part, KG,
Mm-hmm.
and you can agree with this too. Um, Gray or Ray was it
Ray.
or Ray? Okay, is that Shin or is that the hero?
I want
That
to
I
say that's.
see. I want to say Shin because why would they present that flashback and then follow it up with that new transfer student and Ray, right? Because Shin, he was a master swordsman 2,000 years ago, and you come to this episode and you come to realize that Ray himself is also a master swordsman, or at least he's a really good swordsman. But you can't just leave out the hero at the same time, you know?
Exactly. So I think he has to be the hero, though.
You think so? I mean, that's up for debate at this point. So, and I think both theories can be correct in some sense, but nothing is quite 100% confirmed. It's just one of those weird moments in this in an anime series.
Yeah.
So
However, I will say this though. I don't care who it is because honestly, Ray's character I loved in this episode, man.
hey, dude, like I think 5 minutes after we were introduced to him, I liked him. I liked him enough.
Yeah,
He
he had the balls to stand up to the lad despite knowing how OP this man is. And I love that he also talks smack to the sensei as well.
I know, dude. Like, from what I like, this dude, like, he had like the traits, right? According to the homeroom teacher, he had the traits and like the leadership to like lead a group, but he didn't want to do that. He actually wanted to join Anos, despite being labeled as a misfit in this Demon King Academy. But it's like,
Yeah,
no, you know what? No, screw you, teacher. Like, it's either I don't want to be a leader. I want to be led. And he specifically chose Anos,
to be
um,
the one to guide him for that.
yeah, to be the one to guide him. So I don't know, like just by that scene alone, that was enough for me to like Gray in this episode, man.
Yeah. There were a lot of hints in this episode that got my attention as well. They had a segment in the episode where they talked about the sword, the holy sword, I think it was, that he could
Mm-hmm.
not ever pull because he doesn't have the ability to do so. He's a demon lord, that's the whole point of him.
Yeah,
So what did they do? They showed off the other character pulling off a sword, and I'm like, the fact that they brought that up immediately after what just happened, I'm like thinking to myself, is he really Anos? Is he really Shin? Are we, whatever it might be.
yeah,
But like it's elements like that in the series that I've really grown attached to with the storyline because like the characters are just so are great, man. I mean, what more could I say? I just love them. Like, being an OP sometimes can be a bad thing, but when done correctly, in my opinion, they can create some of the most entertaining shows available for you. And I genuinely
yeah, I,
believe that this is one of those moments, man.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Oh, and actually, it's not just that too, but it just never ceases to impress me that every episode you dive more into the lore with unanswered questions, and we're still getting at even within the recent episode. And let me get further into that by first explaining um this the fact that Anos has his own little fan club.
Oh my god, I almost forgot to bring that. What the
So
hell?
um I don't remember the one girl who introduced Anos into this uh, it's not necessarily a quote unquote club, but let's call it that for now. Let's
That's what
call it
they
a fan club.
tried to call it or something.
Yeah. So I don't remember her name, but essentially there was this girl with glasses who actually believed that Anos is the reincarnated Demon King from 2,000 years ago,
Yeah.
and and she invited Anos along with Misha and Sasha to this like I guess these quarters that where these clubs are held, and she brought them into this quarter where apparently there's this other group of girls that also believe that Anos is actually the Demon King reincarnated,
Oh,
and
it was Misa. Misa was the name.
Misa or Miso
No, Misa. It was Misa.
Misa. Okay, and I just like how the minute Anos walks into that quarter, the girls looked at Anos. They're like, "Oh my fucking god, it's actually him!"
Yeah, it's like,
You
am I
know,
breathing the same air as he is? Is this indirect kissing and everything? I was
I
like,
mean, if you
oh
want,
my god.
if you want to take it that way, sure.
I love that segment because it made no sense, bro. It's like so great. It's like these girls were taking fangirling to a whole new scale, and I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, like it's nothing. It's nothing like anime shows where like there are like girls overly being like excessive or being excessively lovey-dovey over a certain man, but like they were at least like you know
Yeah, like
cool
the
about it,
moment
you
they
know?
had their time to where they could fangirl, after that they kind of just Or chill.
simmer down, yeah. Which brings up to the lore, with this episode. Um, I don't recall if this happened in this episode, but the reason why Misa brought Anos into those quarters is just so she could explain to him that there was like you said, KG, there was a sword that existed that was passed down by her family through generations,
Yeah.
and this sword was given to her by the time she reached 10 years old. So, um, yeah, so pretty much.
I think the thing about it, if I recall correctly,
Mhm.
and I think this is my favorite thing about this episode, was because a lot of the characters that were in the fan club are like halves, as in like they're half,
Halves, right.
half human and half something else. Like that's the whole split that's happening right now in the school. That's why Anos is wearing the typical white shirt, or the white
Hmm.
vest. But I think my favorite thing about Misa's character is that we discovered that she states that she's like a half spirit, half demon.
Yeah, I think so. Something along the lines there. Yeah, yeah, but like it's still pretty interesting how they still find ways to bring lore and what look and some and what's usually the most fitting moments, in my opinion.
Yeah, because like every scene felt significant to the episode itself.
Right.
Because the fan club actually was utilized in the fight that happened literally moments after they got finished talking in the club.
Yeah.
In the fight between Ray and Anos, where they had the two girls, best girls actually, go up against the club and Ray. And I thought that was actually really cool. Like, I love that they tried to, or Anos tried to find a way to use this as like a test. Be like, okay, if you want to, join me and whatnot, how about we have a fight and let's see where we can go with that. I love that. I love Anos's character because, like, even though they lost, I love that Anos was like, yeah, I don't care about lose. My name is Anos, by the way. You don't have to be formal with me. Let's be friends and let's be allies with each other.
Like he's a lot more justifiable.
Yeah,
Like he has
he
a very
he
justifiable
loves it when he can be
personality.
with people, man.
Yeah.
He just wants to test them to see if they can really stand up to par with him. And even Anos in the episode when he was fighting against Ray, he was like, I haven't had this much fun in a fight in a very, very long time. And the animation in that sequence when he's fighting against Ray with a stick of all
With
things.
with a with a stick. And basically the conditions from that fight is that if Gray can at least split that twig in half, or at least split a piece off, then that will be enough for Anos to lose. And for Gray to become a servant to Anos. And at the end of the day, that pretty much happened. So, oh, and another thing too, with that battle scene, of course we can't leave out Misha and Sasha because, man, after the recent events, after the past 4 episodes, those two are in sync. They're like yin and yang at this point
Yeah.
because I just love their teamwork. They're communicating like sisters, and man, like I just love the way they handle themselves in this battle because they're now relying on one another. There's no hatred. There's no um, you know, like how do I put this?
Yeah,
Like
they don't
there's
have
nothing
any
going.
bad terms with each other.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on with each other. So it's a really nice follow up given the recent events.
I think that's what makes me love it so much is because like the fights itself, they're not like if with any kind of negativity happening in mind. It's like, oh no, I want to kill you, or no, I need to defeat you so I could become stronger or something. No, it's like I just genuinely want a good battle with you. And it happened, and it was such a good episode, man. Like, Jesus Christ, I can't express enough just how good of an episode it is because there was nothing negative about the episode. It was a story driven episode with two people who had different ideas but still on the same side, just wanting
And
to have a
dude,
legitimate fight.
I love how they already utilized and also gifts to those sisters. Misha with that ice ring and Sancho with that fire cloak. already being used in battle. I thought that was really nice, man, because it just demonstrates their relationship and how much they've gone through
Yeah, they've grown a
already.
long way since the events of episode 3, especially because they explain in the episode, oh, because we are now complete, our full power is now available in our disposal, which is why you get to see the two girls unleash a very very powerful attack that would require a dozen amount of people to do, but now only these two girls can do it by themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I love elements like that. Like everybody's getting OP, but it doesn't feel bad because you're rooting for them at the end of the day.
I know, dude. Like it's like you said, man. At least so far, with what we've seen so far in Misfit of Demon King Academy, there's there's nothing for me to hate about it. There's no I don't really see any negative points with this series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people could argue that it's generic, but I think it's the definition of generic, it could be subjective, of course, but I think that you know, like it's pretty normal, a little too normal for a fantasy anime. That
Right?
you can't really point out the negatives. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, because like I said, generic could be subjective. Some people may think that generic has to mix with positivity and negativity, but mm, like am I making any sense?
No, no, no. I get
Like
what you're trying to
I
say. Yeah,
like
it's interesting because it's like the show understands
like
it. It's like One Punch Man. The show understands the powerful characters that they have in their disposal, but what they're doing is that they're creating the characters that surround this overpowered one and making you grow attached to them and the world that he exists in. Like when Anos came into this world, you grew to love Misha. You grew to love Sasha. You grew to love Anos's parents. You grew to love Ray. You grew to love the fan club.
yeah, it's the one character that makes up the character building in this series,
And makes it
and
fun to watch.
it definitely does, man. And it really does because, to be honest with you, man, coming into this series, when you read the synopsis that Anos is this overpowered demon king that that can kill someone with like a snap of their fingers, or like or kill someone with a heartbeat. Like, at least when it comes to establishing relationships, he kind of makes it. It kind of looks like he's making his overpower. He's making his like how do I put this? Like the show is not trying to demonstrate his overpowerness as an um.
Like
How do I
it's not
put
the
this?
main point of the story, I guess.
Like, yeah, like it's not the main point of the story, and it's not trying to make it like you know like Anos has like the huge advantage, like he's like it sets some very fair conditions for other characters in terms of building this chemistry with Anos,
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean. And I think
Yeah.
that that's the thing I like about the show. Like nothing feels unfair. Which is funny
Yeah,
coming from a
exactly,
very
exactly.
overpowered character, and I think that's what makes it so hilarious. That how do you make an OP character feel so unfair? But it's like the show is making sure that that's not the case.
Right.
Um.
Yeah,
So
those are
yeah,
probably the better words I'm looking for.
yeah, that might have been it. But nah, for real, I understand what you're trying to say, and I appreciate the direction this show went for with that. So, um, the only thing I could just hope for is that the next episode that we're going to be getting is just another fantastic one to add to the list. Because, man, after the one that happened this week with the fight and everything, I was like, how are you going to top that? Because, honestly, the fight, in my opinion, with the opening playing in the background, I thought that was great, man.
Oh, same here, dude. Same here.
So, yeah, I can't wait
But
to
yeah,
just see
man,
more,
like,
more from that show.
yeah, definitely, man. We'll see what happens next week. But really enjoying this show a lot so far.
This season has been great, in my humble opinion, though. I think this season has been a very successful follow up to the previous season. I've been
Yeah,
enjoying the new shows. I've been enjoying the previous shows. Everything just feels great again.
you want to know what's weird about it? I think it's because summer anime has gotten like really good. to be honest with you, I kind of made me forgot about the shows that existed in spring 2020. Now, I'm not dissing those shows, by the way.
Except
It's
one
just
in particular. I'm gonna diss that show to death because goddamn it disappointed me. You know which one? The about the girl and her pet, the crow,
oh
seeing
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, uh, yeah.
Oh man, you
Um,
know it hurts me to say this, man, but if just to add to the list of disappointing animes of all time, the Ragnarok, the Isekai Cheat Magician, I unfortunately had to
don't
add
do
that to the
that.
list. Not
Don't
for
do
not
that.
for being absolute like the shittiest of shit shows, but I mean like in terms of disappointments.
Yeah,
That's the kind of shit I felt with that one, man.
damn.
Yeah, it
Um,
hurt me, man. Look, that like have you ever had a show that you just loved so much and you loved everything surrounding it, and then that last stretch just ruins everything for you? That was that show for me, man. That hurts because it's like I love the ending, I love the characters, I love the story, I love the premise, and it's like, bro, you didn't have to do this story like that because they bum rushed the hell out of the final chapter. Because they skipped like volumes, I think, just to get to the ending. That shit pissed me off. That had no right to do that kind of stunt on me. But whatever. That's the past now. We thankfully don't have to worry about that now, aside from those 6 shorts that I'm not gonna watch because they already wasted my time with those 12 episodes. So I'm not gonna waste my time with any more episodes, man. uh, I'm never gonna be the same now. Now I'm scared to watch shows that look good because that is gonna hit me with that disappointing factor later down the road. Ah well. But yeah, I think for the most part, I feel like we hold on, let me just get a drink. Water. Okay, I feel like for the most part, I want to say we've managed to get our messages across regarding the shows that we wanted to see from uh this season so far. You know, Misfit, uh The Sim Show, Snafu, what else was there? You know, so all right, the Monster Girl Doctor one is also great as well. I highly recommend you guys give that a shot if you haven't yet, of course. Um there's a lot of things that I feel like this season, in my humble opinion, is covering properly, and I'm very happy with that. So I can't wait to see what it is that they're going to be doing for the next episodes that are going to be coming in the future. For say, Snafu, for Misfit, for Rent a Girlfriend, for Uzuki-chan. Now, you might have noticed we kind of skipped out on Uzuki-chan as well. Uzuki-chan, I love the show. I want to state this right now. I'm liking the show Uzuki-chan. The only issue I'm having with Uzuki-chan is genuinely reviewing the show because, like, how do you review Uzuki-chan? I will say, like, the cat is still the MVP, but it's very hard to kind of talk about some of the things that kind of go on in the show because, once again, comedy is something you're not really supposed to describe. You're supposed to rather experience and kind of work from there. And unfortunately, Uzuki-chan kind of fits that category. So I'm still gonna say this right now. It's still a great show. You guys should still give it a watch if you haven't had the chance to watch it just yet. So please go ahead and do so. Um, it's a really great show. If you want something that's not in the emotional, intense, action-driven kind of adventure, I think Uzuki-chan would be a nice comedy slice of life for you. But I feel for the most part, I think we managed to get everything we wanted to say across for this week. And with that being said, as well, I noticed that I next week's being the beach episode. Oh boy, the beach episode, ain't that gonna be great? I wonder if Misfits also gonna have their own beach episode as well. I know we already finished one with Rent a Girlfriend, so I mean it's probably possible that we're probably gonna get one with Misfit later down the road as well. Who knows? Who knows at this point? But what I'm gonna probably do right now is probably go and wrap things up for tonight. It's been a blast to talk with all of you guys, of course, again. And new opening for the Pokemon 2019 anime. Yeah, you're right, Evie. It's gonna be happening just a couple of days, man. Just a little while. I'm excited for that, man. It's gonna be a remix of 1, 2, 3. Apparently, B is gonna be in the new opening, so I'm looking forward to whatever shenanigans they're gonna be pulling off there, um, and many other things coming down the road. So, if you guys have any other anime recommendations in particular that you would love for us to kind of talk about a little bit, um, in the next session of the anime pod, please let us know in the comments, tweet us, kind of let us know in the chat as well. Tell us what kind of show you like for us to kind of go and discuss. So far, these are the shows that I've addressed so far. Other shows such as Sorta Online and to name an example, I guess, is kind of hard to describe it only because you have to have watched many years of the show to even get an idea. Food Wars is trash, man. I'm not gonna touch Food Wars no more. Please, dear God, don't let me talk about Food Wars. Did you? Oh, okay, hold on just a second. Hold on. I actually gotta show you this. I gotta show people this because I saw this. And I was like, there is something about this particular image that is throwing me off. I think you guys might know. Oh, Tower of God, you're right. I keep forgetting to. Oh man, I keep forgetting to talk about that. God damn it. Okay, but I promise I'll talk about it as soon as I can. Okay, I want everybody to tell me something here real quick. Is there anything off about this image for you? This is a scene from Food Wars, okay? I swear to God, there is something very off-putting about this. It's the goddamn hands, man. I swear to you, those hands, they look like they're like Smurf hands. They don't even look adjusted. They don't feel like they are legitimately her hands. I don't even know what's going on with the freaking thing. It feels so off, and then the texture that they use um for her pants here don't even look that great anywhere. I mean, just look at it. Like the way the shading of the pants are compared to like everything else of her body don't even match well. Like, look at this. This shit looks like a 3D model slapped on into a 2D picture right here. It's genuinely very disappointing to see what the hell happened with Food Wars. And then let's take a second to also talk about this as well. The positioning of the handles here. Like the handles here, the way they are done, they don't feel right. Like she's supposed to be sitting on something for exercise, but the way she's positioned doesn't make it seem like she's even positioned on the actual machinery itself. It looks like she's just like scooted over to the side to make it look like she's working out, but in reality, she's not really working out at all. So, yeah, this whole thing is just an abomination, man. Food Wars, what happened to you, man? I used to remember when you were considered the GOAT, when everybody was excited to see what kind of shenanigans you're going to be pulling off in the next episode. But now you've really gone above and beyond and managed to disappoint everybody in almost every way imaginable, man. Season 4 happened, I know. They still have great openings, though. I'll say this, though. They do have great openings and great ending songs. I think that's still the shining thing about the series. Aside from that, though, the quality really had dropped significantly, and I'm very disappointed about that. So, yeah. I think for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're probably going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. I do want to ask, though, would you guys be willing to come in for tomorrow as well? Because I'm going to be probably streaming tomorrow. The newest game that everybody's going bonkers about, Fall Guys. Hopefully the server will probably be okay by then. If not, we'll figure something out. But Food Wars is, not Food Wars, Fall Guys. I'm legitimately excited to play a little bit of it. So I might stream it just to kind of give you guys an idea as to the gameplay and whatnot and see maybe you guys might be intrigued yourself or maybe you guys might own the copy of Fall Guys already. I know it's also available on PS4 too, but I don't think crossplay is enabled for it just yet. So I'm probably going to be doing a little playthrough session of Fall Guys tomorrow. I'll let you guys know on Twitter, so make sure to follow me there if you have yet to do that. Also, make sure to follow my buddy Evie as well. It seems like he's a little busy on the sidelines too, taking care of some things. But yeah, I hope you guys also give his love and support as well by following him on his social media via Twitter at Alpha Evie. And with that, I think I'm going to go on and wrap things up for the session of the night. So thank you once again, everybody, for being with me here tonight. I hope you guys had a fun day. And hopefully we'll hear you guys again real soon. Maybe on Monday's pod, maybe tomorrow in the session of Fall Guys. We'll see what happens, but I hope you guys will tune in whenever you can. So thank you guys once again for being with me here tonight. My name is KG Prestige. We'll talk with all of you guys later in whatever video we make. Take care, everybody, and as always, have yourself an awesome day. Bye, everybody.